you miss me?
You discovered a walking, talking dummy and you didn't tell me?
Okay, well, he seemed like a really nice guy at the start.
Goosebumps 2: Haunted Halloween is directed by Ari Sendel, and being the sequel to the 2015 movie Goosebumps, tells pretty much the same story, but with less interesting characters and subplots. In Goosebumps 2, once again, an R.L. Stine book is found and opened, and once again the ventriloquist dummy Slappy is let loose from the book to terrorize humanity, and hilarity ensues. I recently watched the first Goosebumps with my kids who are 8 and 10, and of course they loved it, so of course I took them with me to see Goosebumps 2. And while we disagree about how good both of these movies are, they both agreed with me that the first one was better than the second one. For starters, Goosebumps 2 takes a while to get going. The reason being that even though the character that came out of the book is Slappy, it's a different book, and this Slappy has different motivations than the one from the first movie. The Goosebumps Slappy was all about getting revenge on Stine for locking him in a book. The Goosebumps 2 Slappy has this odd obsession with creating a sort of evil monster family and immediately adopts the kids who found the book, and by extension their family, as his own. Because of the motivational differences, Goosebumps lets loose all the other monsters relatively quickly.
God, he's gone. And he's taken all the books.
And a good chunk of the movie is spent exploring those other monsters. In Goosebumps 2, said other monsters only come into play after Slappy has spent some time trying to win his adopted family over and decides it's not worth it. And even then the other monsters are more just background noise and filler than a real part of the story. While I will admit that most of the CGI in Goosebumps 2 looks pretty good, the practical effects, particularly Slappy, are somewhat lacking. The acting is also pretty questionable. The story focuses mostly on Sarah, played by Madison Iseman, her brother Sonny, played by Jeremy Ray Taylor, and his bestie Sam, played by Khalil Harris. While I'm unfamiliar with Taylor and Harris, I wasn't bothered by their performances. They weren't bad, but they weren't great either. But I have to say I expected better from Iseman. Unfortunately, she decided to work from the Jack Black school of overacting for this one, and it is noticeably distracting. Speaking of Jack Black, he played the character of R.L. Stine in the first movie, but was nowhere to be seen in the first trailer for the sequel. His inclusion could have been a really cool surprise for fans, had they not decided to ruin it by throwing his appearance into a subsequent trailer. Having now seen it, I find it odd that he's in it at all, since his character was only in a couple scenes and didn't actually do anything. Granted, they did do some potential Goosebumps 3 setup with his character, but it was at the end and didn't actually tie in with anything that happened before. There are questions that are never answered, probably because answering them destroys the whole premise for the movie, so we just sort of let those things slide. For example, if Stine knows that writing with a specific typewriter is what makes his books come to life, why not just use a different typewriter? Otherwise, why write at all? And if he's always written with a specific typewriter, how did anyone else ever read his books? Plus, if you insist on writing the books, then locking them so no one can read them, why leave the key to unlock the book right next to it? Alright, I'm officially overthinking it. The Goosebumps movies are okay. They're geared toward kids who don't ask the same questions that most adults do, so it's probably unreasonable for me to hold them to the same expectations that I would most anything else. That said, I'm giving Goosebumps 2 Haunted Halloween 2.5 out of 5 stars. The kids enjoyed it, so I guess it did what it was supposed to do for its target audience. Doubtful that I'll ever watch it again, but the kids might, and thus it becomes a purchasable movie. Just not a very good one. Alright, I'm done. Thanks for watching, and as always, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you back here next week with another review.